The new update is out and I notice people don't really want to listen to stuff, so here's a rundown. Cats, horrible. New Arcana, make everything more gamble. Garlic, no longer possible. Clover, no longer needed in the build. Disclaimer, the footage that you see in the background is pretty much the worst run that I encountered with not only really bad luck, but everything went wrong that could have went wrong, and yet I reached level 200. So if you see me doing something that I'm not supposed to do according to the guide, yeah, that's why. For the power-ups, get everything that you can get. Gold and reach are the first two that I would get rid of, but if you can't afford the rest, then I would recommend farming more gold. However, a lot of people don't know that per purchase power-up, the cost of all the other power-ups increases by 10%. I will link a guide called Tips, Tricks, Mechanics and Secrets about Vampire Survivors, where I mention the optimal buy order, as well as some other useful stuff like luck mechanic. If you want to check it out, it's in the pinned comment. For now, the 5 weapons are Vandalier, Song of Mana, Bloody Tear, Gatti Amari and Gorgeous Moon. For the 6th weapon, wait until later because this depends on what Arcana you get offered. For the passive weapons, get Spinach, Hollow Heart, Candelabra Door, Crown, Duplicator, Armor and then pick up Empty Tome. However, you also need Tiramisu and die twice with it, and first max it out, then suicide with it. Don't suicide with it while it's level 1 or you make it a lot more complicated on you. Next up the Arcana, and this will be a bit more complicated, so listen carefully. You start with the Awake Arcana so you can suicide and get bonus stats. Don't wait out with this. You have to suicide either way to get rid of Tiramisu so you can get a 6th passive weapon. And the earlier you do it, the easier it will be to farm the enemies. I also recommend to keep at least 1 revival in case something goes wrong and you die. You don't have to do it right away, but it will help out farming because of the area and might bonus. For this one I quickly need your brain power, so pay some attention. These are all the Arcana that can be offered at minute 11. Since there are 7 of them and you only get 4 offered, this means 3 of them will not be available. Simply go via the rating that is given to you here. In my testing, Heart of Fire was by far the most reliable Arcana that you can have. Or overall, Hellfire. Death Spiral is also really solid, but sometimes it was shy of the level 200. On this selection, always try avoid picking the bottom 3. And whatever Arcana you picked now determines what's the 6th weapon of your build. If you picked something related to Hellfire, well then get Fire Wand. And if you picked something related to Death Spiral, then get the Axe. At the 21-minute mark, you have the same problem that you only get 4 to choose from, but there's a total of 6 Arcana left. This time what you're looking for is the counterpart Arcana to the one that you previously picked. So if you picked Walls of Pearls, then now you want to have Heart of Fire. If you picked Iron Blue Will, then you want to have Slash, and the other way around. However, it could be that you had Heart of Fire, or in a worst case, Walls of Pearls, and now you get the one for Death Spiral and the bottom 3. If that happens, I just recommend you going for Duration. And now that we are done with all the information gathering, now about the gameplay. This is very important and a ton of people failed with this. So, pay attention. Once you get on the stage and you don't get Song of Mana from the level up, just restart. No, I don't mean when you get Whip that you just go with Whip and you get 1/3 of the experience. Do yourself the favor and get a good start. The main goal for you is to get Song of Mana to level 8. Without Garlic, everything is a lot more dangerous. I even skipped certain passive weapons like Armor and Hollow Heart just to get Song of Mana up. However, certain passive weapons should never be skipped, which include Duplicator and Tiramisu. Crown depends on what level your Song of Mana is. So if it's for example at level 2 or level 3 and you're about to hit 3 minutes where you need Song of Mana level 4, then just skip Crown as well and go for Song of Mana instead. Since you don't have Garlic anymore, I don't recommend walking over to the Empty Tome in the very beginning. Garlic was the reason that this was possible while also farming a ton of levels. Simply stay in the beginning area and try to break candles if you come across them. Your main priority is level farming to get ahead of the level curve, but every single chicken that you already drop is 1 chicken closer to maximize cats. Forget about farming an insane amount of chickens for the cats. Once you picked up around 103 chickens, they go down to 0.05 damage per chicken. Yes, in this patch the cats require 20 chickens, where the old ones only needed 1. But when do you move over to the Empty Tome? Well, pretty much when you have 6 passive weapons and the last missing one is either Spinach, Hollow Heart, Candelabra Door or Armor. As I said, make sure that you have the duplicator in there, otherwise you're missing a rare passive weapon, and once you lost Tiragisu and you have to look for it, this might take a very long time. If you didn't get the cats yet, then don't feel too bad, just move over and leave all the chickens behind. It's not amazing, but since you only require 100 chickens for the rest of the game, it's easily doable to get all of them. Once you pick up Empty Tome, max it out before you continue with another step. If you get as unlucky as I got and your Tiragisu was insanely late so you couldn't get Empty Tome, and the minute 11 wave is nearing, it's time to panic. I would highly recommend you just skipping ahead of the footage that is played in the background and checking out what I do at minute 11. In short, you want to hug the wall at the bottom, so the enemies don't get to surround you. It's still insanely risky and a lot might go wrong. If you see a cat scuffle next to you, just move into it, but don't go too far up. If you're too far away from the wall and the cat scuffle ends, you are in the middle of all the enemies, exposed and ready to die. Now something that I'm really unsure of, and you have to check which works the best way for you. In my experience, the best result is just leaving Pentagram as it is, and at this exact time mark that you see right now, you pick up a chest and you evolve it. So what changed to previously where we just evolved it right away? Well, previously all of the experience or majority came either from Gorgeous Moon blasting away the enemies, or the cats dealing such an insane amount of damage to wipe out the enemies no matter what HP they have. Now with the cats being nerfed and Hellfire our main source of dealing with enemies, this changed. And a lot of the enemies in the game scale with your level. So the higher level you are, or in other words, Gorgeous Moon forcing all the level ups on you by soaking them in, the less kills you will have. But as I said, this could be one of those cases where, for whatever reason, it works really well for me with Pentagram and evolving it at 2945, but for you, you would just like to have Pentagram as early as possible. If that's the case, then look at the chart in front of you. It's very important that Empty Tome is maxed out when you evolve Pentagram. Just look at your current game time and choose the next timer that will happen there. So for example, if it's 15:10 right now, just evolve Pentagram at 15:27. This is enough time that the animation can go off and the last blast off will be at 29:57. But again, if Empty Tome is not maxed out, then this won't work. The entire calculation depends on the cooldown of Pentagram when Empty Tome is already applied to the max. If you decide to go with the Pentagram path that I go for, then max out your Pentagram with the timestamps that you see on the left with -1 to 2 seconds. That means the blast off of Pentagram will be at 29:04 and 29:43. This is more than enough time that you can go to the chest and pick it up at 29:45. And finally, the last 2 points, positioning. Position yourself as you can see it on the picture here. It is very important that you don't see the bottom of the candles, otherwise their spawn rate will go down like crazy. Do this until your cats deal around 90 to 100 damage, and then step down that you can see the bottom of the candles. Yes, this is intentional to prevent their spawning as much as possible, so you don't get random vacuums, at least that bothers you if you went for Pentagram instead of Gorgeous Moon, and that you don't pick up freezes. Freezes pretty much kill the XP gathering in the game, so you want to avoid this as much as possible. If standing still is too boring for you, then you can just move around and kill all the enemies manually. I highly recommend against doing this before you reach level 200, but this is your call again. One tip that I can give you if you want to do that is moving with Hellfire. The projectile is insanely slow and you can just create a bunch of Hellfire in front of you and move with them. Also make sure that you break all the candles and get the chickens in, that your cats reach at least 90 damage. Once the Reaper spawns, he can't kill you, you simply heal for more than he does damage, so you're fine. Right now your position should still be the one that you had at wave 29, where the candles were visible, so slightly move up that they are again out of vision range and can spawn as usual. The scaling on the cats is minimal, as I said, with 20 chickens for 1 bonus damage, but it's better than nothing, and trust me, you want the damage. Before the nerf you could roughly expect a Reaper kill at 60 minutes in, so 90 minutes in game time, But now with the nerfed cats, yeah, the old ones used to reach around 800 damage and these ones are pretty much locked at 100, so you're looking at around 300 to 600 minutes of waiting. Just in case you don't want to do this, I have a Reaper kill guide linked in the pinned comment that uses clarity at level 2. Everything in the guide was calculated with the use of a script and has a pretty much perfect timing for everything. However, even if you don't want to take Toastie as the Reaper kill method, I still highly recommend giving it a go and reaching level 200 with the build, just to see if you could have done it. This guide took again a ton of effort for figuring everything out and putting together this video in a very short form, so I would highly appreciate it if you could give it a like and just check out 1 or 2 other videos and see if this is maybe a channel that you would like to watch in the future. The rest of the footage is now still in the video if you want to see how the run ended. I would recommend just looking at the crucial parts like early farming, the 11th minute, positioning to farm all the chickens, when I moved down to no longer farm the chickens, and just how the wave 28 and 29 went by. Or you can of course watch the entire thing as you please. Thank you for watching and good luck with your Reaper kill attempt.